Greetings and citations, everyone. So, today we have a handy-dandy new cinematic from Shadowlands, from our good old team of Taryn Gregory. Seems like it's about Sylvanas. Probably after the raid. I don't know. But I am actually I'm genuinely curious to see what it's going to be about, since you can't really see the dislikes anymore for YouTube. Take that with what you will. I personally don't agree with it, but hey. So I don't know whether or not the community likes this, dislikes it, or they're in the middle. Gonna go on a limb here, and they probably disliked it because it's Sylvanas and Shadowlands oriented, but I am curious to see what it's all about, what it is. Regardless of what it is, I think that the Taryn Gregory and his team always do a fantastic job. The people who work at Blizzard, the art team, are always on top. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see what this is all about. Last time that we saw Sylvanas, she tried to betray the jailer. The jailer was like, that ain't gonna happen, and gave her back a piece of her soul. So, let's get to see what Sylvanas is like. I had a lot of theories about what Sylvanas is like now. Either she's still the same person, but now is capable of emotions that she didn't have, or she's an entirely different person, and she's more like herself from Warcraft 3. But let's go ahead and find out. I'm very curious to see what she's like. So, let's go ahead and start this in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Sylvanas' soul has been fractured.
Yeah.
From the moment of her death until now.
Burn it!
Oh no.
This was their home. And you slaughtered all of them!
Oh wow.
How could you take all those innocent lives? This was beyond life and death. There was no other path to true freedom. How can you not see that? I see what you are. Murderer, monster, butcher. Why can I not escape this torment?
Well, dang.
The jailer has severed their bond and condemned her to endlessly relive her atrocities.
Look at that Thrall model and Baine model.
So long as her soul remains divided, she cannot wake.
Maybe she shouldn't.
She's the only one who knows the jailer's plan and how we might save Anduin.
Baine.
She's the one that turned Anduin.
Jaina is right. How can we possibly trust her?
Wow.
Her wound runs so much deeper than mine.
Oh, hey, we're back in World of Warcraft. I love her.
Well met, Ranger.
Look at these models.
What is this? Who are you?
Someone who shared your fate, felled by the blade of the very same prince.
Arthas. I died trying to stop that monster.
The voice sounds so different.
To wake up haunted by one with my face.
That banshee is you.
No. I cannot accept that.
Her path began where yours ended, and you've seen the decisions she made.
Never in 1,000 lifetimes would I betray everything I stood for. You can't possibly understand.
Oh.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn, it nearly destroyed me.
Hmm.
He had no doubts it would destroy you as well. Was he right? Or will you accept her shattered legacy and tell us how to stop him?
Her crimes are unforgivable.
Yes.
They are.
And she... I must face the consequences.
We cannot change the past, and we may never find forgiveness in the future. But inaction damns us all.
Yeah, that's true.
Time is short, Ranger General. Make your choice.
Make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner. Same thing Anduin told him.
I've done all I can.
This is the same music that played for Vol'jin's thing. Oh my god, it's just like it. That's great. It's like when Vol'jin disappeared. Okay. Alright. You know what? That was probably... Was that my favorite cinematic of Shadowlands? I don't know. I don't know if I can really say... if I can judge it properly, because I would have to watch all of the cinematics again, but... the conversations it sparks are really good. Like, phenomenally really good. Let's go ahead and go over this, because it's what I like to do. It's what we all like to do, I guess. Before I begin, I really just like how Baine, Jaina, and Thrall are just... they are on point. They are on, like... should we even wake her up? She's kind of an evil, dark person, you know? She created so many conflicts after she was crowned as war chief. Honestly, even before that. So, yeah, let's go ahead. I just really liked that the leaders are in unison, besides Bolvar. Bolvar, what are you doing, buddy? Everyone is kind of in unison of just not being on Sylvanas' side, which is totally in character, and I really appreciate that. Because my biggest fear, my biggest worry, and that can definitely happen after this, but my biggest concern was people were just going to be already on board with forgiving her, which was not the case at all here. And what I like also is that Sylvanas herself is kind of like on board with her crimes are so terrible and so many. They are so bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and go over this. So this is right after the raid, I'm pretty sure. It makes sense. Sylvanas is unconscious. She's been unconscious since it happened. Uther is kind of going over what exactly has been going on with her, and she's basically in conflict with herself over the events of Teldrassil. She's literally arguing with herself about it. Her past self is yelling at her current self over the actions of just what happened. Speaking of that, I love the models here. I love how detailed and well animated they look. Look at that. This is my favorite design for Sylvanas from Legion. That just looks fantastic. But yeah, so she just is like condemning herself, and I love that. I love that she's at war with herself, because yeah, one side of her is bad and one side of her was good. That is very much the case for Sylvanas, at least. Uther, I don't think, had that same sort of situation. I love Thrall's design, again, looks amazing. All of the characters look amazing here, realistically speaking. Baine coming out here with the truth. Bolvar's like, nuh-uh, we need her, which is like, he's not wrong, but it's like, Baine isn't wrong either, and I love Baine is just blunt about it. Usually Baine is like the kindest dude you can possibly get. You know that you've done some wrong if you've angered Baine, basically. Like, the guy is he's like a cinnamon bun, and well, I wouldn't call him a cinnamon bun, that's kind of insulting, but the guy is really nice, and he hates her, which is totally justified considering all the things that she's done to Saurfang, to the Horde, to himself, to Zelling, you know. So Baine here is coming out with some hot truths. And, you know, Bolvar, the thing about Bolvar is he's not wrong, but at the same time, though, it's kind of like, yeah, I get where Baine and everyone else is coming from, because yes, Sylvanas is atrocious. She committed so many atrocious things in her lifetime as the Banshee Queen. As Ranger General, though, she died a hero, which is something that a lot of people cling to, a lot of people focus on, so... But we also get the same sort of reaction from Thrall and Jaina, who are like, you know, Anduin's like this because of her, a lot of the events that happened are because of her, and Uther and Bolvar seem like the only ones kind of trying to work with Sylvanas here. I think Uther comes more from a place of understanding because he's experienced what Sylvanas has experienced, so it makes sense that he'd be more of the type to be like, let's, you know, work things out with her. And I gotta say, I love this. Even if some of the things look clearly old in the background here, they still look really well done. And I really appreciate the Sylvanas model here, which, I'm gonna spoil something real quick for everyone. She does wear this armor as her current self in the patch, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes about. But I love the scenery here. You're in, I believe this is Western or Eastern Plaguelands. Probably, I think it's Western. But you're in Western Plaguelands, and you have Uther and Sylvanas talking about what happened, and he's like, yeah, I've experienced the same things you have against Arthas. I too was stabbed by him. I too was scarred by him. So you have these two characters discuss that, and I love Uther here. Uther looks amazing. Sylvanas looks amazing. But most importantly, they have a conversation with each other, and how Uther's trying to urge her to accept her her current self, her Banshee self, and all the things that she's done. But in order, it makes it sound like they need to become one. Like, they need to unionize. Yeah, they do. The Blizzard employees do. They should. They need to unite in order to stop the jailer, because the current Sylvanas, has the information to stop him, and the past Sylvanas doesn't. The past Sylvanas is like, I don't like you. I do not like anything about you. You are literally everything that I fought against. Everything that I just condemn and I disagree with. Also, this is Quel'Thalas. I love that. It's kind of like Quel'Thalas, Western Plaguelands, and Teldrassil all kind of like, they're all kind of, it feels like they're merged, but they're not, because this is clearly the Dead Scar looks a lot like Teldrassil does. But yeah, so you have, you know, Uther show off his current self and his past self together, which I think is really cool. I feel like they're more in unison than obviously these two Sylvanases are, which, to be honest with you, I think Uther has a lot of an easier time, considering his current self and past self aren't too different, while the current two Sylvanases are, definitely. But what I like here is that basically Sylvanas is going to have to accept the things that her Banshee Queen self did, even though she didn't. So a part of her didn't, but a part of her did. But I think that the thing that I really like here is that, yes, she's going to have to take the fall. She is going to have to accept the things that Sylvanas did, because they're both Sylvanas. And her crimes are just terrible. But she's got to accept it. Inaction is worse than, you know, action here, at least. Because if they don't stop Zovaal, everyone is screwed. But I just really like this here. It's just like everything kind of comes together with Sylvanas. Where it's basically... I'm pulling my thoughts together here. It's basically... Sylvanas is still going to get condemned for the things that she did, but she's also going to help out in a way. I feel like this was the best way of handling Sylvanas' character moving forward. That's just my opinion of, she's going to help save everyone, But at the same time, though, her actions are still going to be remembered. She's still going to be condemned for all the things that Banshee Queen Sylvanas did, which obviously is in conflict with this Sylvanas, with this present one. I'm very curious to see what this Sylvanas is going to be like, because it seems like we're going to get a merger of the two, I think. That's my belief, at least. I could be wrong. But, I'm looking forward to it, and my cats are fighting, so that's great. What I think I also really like here is the Vol'jin moment. It plays the Vol'jin funeral music, and it does it in the same way that, it does it in the same way that the Vol'jin cinematic played out, where everyone is disappearing as time goes on. Like, they disappear, and, once everyone is essentially gone, I think that's what happened here. No, Uther waited for her to wake up, but it's done in the same way. I'll probably throw a clip here, somewhere where it showcases the same moment of, as time passes, you had Sylvanas stand before the dead body of Vol'jin, and how much weight that had. When, you know, she turned around and went, "We will avenge Vol'jin." I remember everyone was... That was kind of the moment where we were all kind of on board, or sort of on board at least, with Sylvanas' war chief. Obviously that has changed tremendously over time, but it invokes this same feeling, I think, at least with me, where, you know, we're giving Sylvanas another chance, I think. I think that's kind of the message that I kind of get, and it's not like, again, I should really ride this home here, guys. Like, I don't know if you were catching my reactions, but yes, Sylvanas was a terrible person, committed many terrible things. But at the same time, though, we're going to be... And again, I cannot stress that enough. She is a terrible person, she's got to pay for her crimes, etc. But she is also going to be helping us, and it's this merger of the two Sylvanases that we'll be dealing with, which will, I think, complicate things a lot. And I really don't take as much issue with that. I'm sure some people do and will, and that's understandable. Again, I don't know how many times I need to repeat myself here, but I won't forgive Sylvanas for anything. I feel like that should be a blunt and obvious thing to say. But, I've said this before to my friends. I feel like the best way of handling Sylvanas' conclusion is not, "I forgive you," but "I thank you for helping us." Because at the very least, I think she'll deserve a thanks, but after this, she is going to need to pay for her crimes in some way. I don't know what in form, but I do think that she'll, I really don't know what they're going to do to condemn her exactly. That would be fair. My own personal take was having her stay behind in the Shadowlands and make sure everyone in the Maw who was tormented or, mutated into what they are now, and her reverting that process somehow. And she has to get everyone out of the Maw and into their proper afterlife. That's what I would do. Now, they could also bring her back to Azeroth and have her rot in a prison, or have her do some form of community service. I don't know. Do I think that they're going to execute her for this? Maybe, but probably not. I mean, she's still alive, or undead right now, so if you just kill her, she's just gonna get sent to the Arbiter, so maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll be like, alright, let's have the Arbiter judge her and send her to her afterlife, and maybe people will be conflicted on that, because apparently originally Sylvanas was sent to Ardenweald before she became the Banshee Queen, and I don't think that her crimes and her actions are just going to be swiped away just because of her souls merging. I think that because their souls have now merged, that's not really going to be the case anymore. I think that she is going to be condemned, and personally, if she is going to be sent to an afterlife rather than pay for her crimes in a prison cell or go to the Maw and clean up, the Maw sworn that are there, if it's not one of those, I think just send her to Revendreth. I think that Arthas and Sylvanas should be sent to Revendreth, and that the Maw should no longer even play a factor, because the Jailer's no longer present. He's probably dead. He's probably gone. Why keep the Maw? What's the point of keeping the Maw when you have places like Revendreth where you're supposed to get in line or get back in your tomb, I guess? But yeah, so those are my thoughts on it. I personally liked it. It could have been worse. It could have been, you know, the characters being all like, oh, we gotta give Sylvanas a chance here, which again, that could be what happens after this, which if it does, not so sure about that message, Blizzard, because, but personally, I thought it was fine. I liked it. Give me your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you mixed feeling? Do you have mixed feelings about it? Because I'm sure many people will have mixed feelings because Sylvanas did a lot of terrible things. Let's not throw that out the door. Let's not ignore it, because that is truth. And yeah, let's just hope things get better, both in terms of the story and the game and the company and everything, because quite frankly, I think we're all kind of sick of being torn apart by mishandled stories, because oh boy. But yeah, no, I really appreciated the cinematic by Taran and his team. The art team are always really awesome and always really good at what they do. I liked the art, I liked the characters, I'm really curious to see how the characters will be interacting in the story, because again, Baine was just on point with just, maybe we should let her just sit here and rest and never wake up, because oh boy. But yeah, give me your guys' thoughts. I like to hear them. I like knowing what other people have and what they have to say about this. But yeah, I guess I'll see ya.